Hi, I'm Jonathan Schultz. I'm a 2023 Arnold Beckman Postdoctoral Fellow in Chemical Sciences with the Arnold Beckman Foundation.
The movement and transformation of energy is crucial to virtually everything around us, from natural systems to the artificial systems that we use in our technology. Many problems on the forefront of science trace back to the question, how exactly does energy flow through chemical material systems? A key class of experiments that scientists use to learn about energy converting processes is known as time-resolved spectroscopy. These techniques provide time resolution through the use of laser pulses. One laser pulse is used to excite the chemical system. From there, additional laser pulses are used to watch how the system responds. Stitching together the snapshots allows scientists to create molecular movies that show how energy moves in and out of materials. With modern technology, scientists use time-resolved spectroscopies to examine dynamics on timescales less than a millionth of a billionth of a second. Hence, these experiments are often called ultra-fast spectroscopies. Many of the most powerful techniques used today are known as multi-dimensional spectroscopies. But what does multidimensional refer to? To understand this, let's take a step back. Early spectroscopy experiments, like the one pioneered by Dr. Beckman's company in the early 1940s, the spectrophotometer, measured how chemical and material systems absorb light as a function of the energy or wavelength of light. Now imagine we're able to expand our perspective and examine not only the energy of light going into a sample, but also where the energy comes out. This approach allows us to see how various peaks relate to one another. This information is directly related to the interactions between different molecules in a chemical system. You can think of this like viewing a mountain range. When viewed from only one side, it's possible that some peaks are hidden behind some of the peaks in the foreground. But by shifting our perspective, we can gain a more holistic picture of the mountain range in its entirety. Similarly, multidimensional spectroscopy provides a holistic picture of how energy moves within a material or chemical system. As we discussed earlier, this motion can be tracked as a function of time using laser pulses. Thus, these experiments generate massive data sets that contain millions of pixels, occupy multiple gigabytes of storage, and require extensive downstream processing in order to understand them. As a result, interpreting what the spectroscopic data are telling us is a persistent and ongoing challenge. With so much information contained in these data, there's a significant risk of misinterpreting what they're telling us about the underlying chemistry. Thus, despite the many impressive advancements in spectroscopies over the past several decades, problems with interpreting the data ultimately slow our ability to take what we learn from these advanced experiments and apply the insights to the design of materials and new technologies. At the end of the day, spectra are images, and we know there have been substantial developments in using machine learning to process images. Granted, spectra are a bit more complex and abstract than images of cats and dogs, but they're images all the same. So we ask the question, can we use machine learning tools to help us back out useful chemical insights directly from complicated spectroscopy data? This question was at the heart of the work that I and my colleagues conducted with support from the Arnold and Mabel Beckman Foundation. To test this hypothesis, we began by identifying a target property of interest. If we zoom far enough in to the molecular structure in photosynthetic organisms, we find a key piece of architecture known as the reaction center that's responsible for taking sunlight and converting it into electricity. If we keep zooming in, we see that there are a lot of molecules that are closely packed in space. These conditions allow the molecules to interact with one another, and this profoundly impacts how energy and charge moves through the broader system. Recall that multidimensional spectroscopy is designed to give us information about these interactions. We wanted to examine, can neural networks pull this information out for us? To make a long story short, our research demonstrated that the answer to this question is yes. Machine learning approaches can accurately diagnose the molecular interactions that underlie these vastly complicated spectroscopic signals. We showed that using machine learning in this way is surprisingly robust to difficult features to handle in experiments, such as noise. Moreover, we developed and demonstrated an approach that leverages information from both the energy and time domains of the data, just like a human would when looking at a mountain range evolve through the seasons from a bird's eye view. Our findings offer new insight into how machine learning models perceive spectroscopic data, and we found that they often focus on counterintuitive features that are overlooked in traditional human-led analyses. These findings hint at exciting opportunities to leverage machine learning models to guide new theoretical modeling and experimental approaches in spectroscopy.
Dr. Beckman exemplified the value of using science as a way to bring humanity together and to help others. As scientists, we can do a lot of great alone, but we can do so much more when we put our time into developing things that help other people pursue science and help bring people into the world of STEM.
With the Foundation's support, I was able to share the results of this science with researchers both nationally and internationally.
Inspired by Dr. Beckman's values, we wanted to make the science that was made possible by this postdoctoral fellowship available for others to use as soon as possible to fuel their own science and make their own discoveries. Hence, along the way, we've published various repositories online where we make our codes available, we provide demos for using them, and you can find these in various places that I'll highlight on the screen here. The AOB Postdoctoral Fellowship has been absolutely transformative to my development as a scientist. Thanks to the Postdoctoral Fellowship, I have now obtained my dream career of becoming an assistant professor at a primarily undergraduate institution. Here at North Carolina Central University, I am now forming my own research group to pursue the directions that we originally have been able to pursue thanks to the funding and support from the Foundation. I could not be more grateful for the opportunities that this foundation has given me and those around me and my students that I am now working with at NCCU.
For more information about the research I discussed here, as well as information about our new research lab at North Carolina Central University, please check out these links.